Today's guest is a heavy lifting, dry scooping, community inspiring behemoth. Some call him Virgin Active, whilst others simply refer to him as a active virgin. Oh yeah. He is, of course, your daily dose of gym, your daily dose of laughs. He is the daily dose of Dillon. Dillon, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. That intro met every single bit of expectation I had. That was unbelievable.
Finally, a guest that enjoys the introduction.
I know. But I think that's probably the least offensive intro that we've had in a long time.
I just called him an active virgin. I feel that's right up there.
Mildly accurate there as well, so it works.
Okay, that's off to a weird start. I mean, this podcast above anything is just weird. Chloe Mulville, joined by her as usual. How are you doing, Chloe Dog?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm very excited to have Dillon on.
Very excited.
I'm very excited.
Sam, how are you doing? Oh, thanks, other Sam. It is tough. I'm trying to hold this podcast down. Dillon, no one asks how
Dillon,
you are.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. A little bit nervous, but yeah, an honor to be here. So thank you.
Like what sort of nerves? Like I've just had a coffee nerves, or my parents might be getting divorced nerves?
No, like I've never been invited to be on a podcast. So it's like a new level in the status, you know what I mean? Ooh. So it's like the heart's beating it, but it's all based from an absolute honor. So thank you.
That's very. Gee, we gotta get more people like this Dillon character. So people might have heard us say Dillon. They're like, "Who is that guy?"
Yeah.
And then we say the daily dose of Dillon, and we go, "Oh, but of course." You're big in Cape Town.
I am.
He's also quite literally big in Cape Town. I mean, you know.
We're swinging for the fences early doors here. But your brand and your identity and your personality, you're the daily dose of Dillon. Just, would you take that through, or you take us through that for a few people who maybe aren't familiar with what you do?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So when I first started like working out, I found that there was a lack of content of like relatable gym content. Like I found like I was trying to find motivation to go to the gym, to be dedicated to my diet and all of that, everything that it requires for you to get in shape. And and the only form of like inspiration that I found on Instagram were like these very, very, very famous people like Simeon Panda, Ryan Terry,
Kung Fu Panda, all the big pandas.
But these very big names, and I felt like there was no like I didn't relate to them as much because they didn't feel like almost normal people.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me put every bit of embarrassment aside and let me attempt to put myself out there. And that's what I do. So I'm a normal person who gyms, and I try to inspire the average person, I guess, to be the best version of themselves.
Sure. Beautiful. Chloe, do you follow the daily dose of Dillon?
I do follow the daily dose of Dillon. Does giving people a daily dose of Dillon ever get tiring?
Never. It's like the best thing ever. Like, I think some people will say that oversharing their life is sometimes quite difficult. But I think it's like the best gift, like to give an insight of your life to somebody else, puts everything into perspective. And yeah, like I love sharing like literally everything. If I could share more, I would, but then people would get tired.
Hey guys, just going to the bathroom.
If you ain't shitting 3 times a day, are you even trying to lose weight?
After that pre-workout hits.
Yeah, basically.
And I think one of the first places... So if I can maybe synthesize that, you basically create unbelievably relatable, inspiring gym and fitness content. Would that be fair?
I think unbelievable is a push.
Okay, so it's believable. Some would say
but that's the purpose. Okay. That's what I try to do. Yeah.
No, and it's fantastic.
Would you say it's also like good accountability for you? Because you have this platform, you're like, well, I got to get up.
100%. That was actually one of the biggest motivators when I would say about 6 months into starting the page, I realized like, if we're going to be completely objective here, I was like, my rig is not where I'd like it to be. I have this platform. Let me use it to the best of my ability to push me as well. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Yes.
So like, I use it for myself to try and motivate and inspire myself and keep myself accountable. And then through that accountability, I'm showing others that they can also be dedicated and be consistent.
Yes. And what I love the most about it is completely relatable. I don't think I could curl a twig, but I am...
I'm sure.
I sit in bed getting quite excited about things, and I just need to, get in one step further. So, and I mean, so you've got people who have been with you from not only your page and your transformation as you as a human being. Have you found you've got quite a few people who have been there from the start, 2017 till today?
2017. Is that when Jeez, you did your research.
It's a big part of KETS research.
Yeah, definitely. There's that saying, I don't know exactly how it goes, but like some people in your life for seasons, some people in your life for a moment, and some people in your life for a lifetime. I think that's how it goes. But it's the same thing with supporters.
Yes.
Like I've had people from the beginning, and like they're always a huge motivator. And then there are people that, come and go every now and then. And they also are, like any support is great support. But yeah, it's nice when you build up and then it almost becomes like, you don't feel like you're just sharing to people. You feel like you're sharing to people that actually know you.
Yes.
Which is like so sick, because then everything you're putting out actually gets absorbed.
Yes.
And that's like the best thing is when you share and someone actually takes the time to like listen and absorb what you're saying and being like, okay. And then getting feedback is even better, because then someone's like, oh, what do you mean by this specific topic? And then you're like, this man listened, you know what I mean? And then you actually interact with the people who follow you, and that's like the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit like, whenever you see something you see like received and understood, it's like teaching. And that's why like teaching is the most holistic thing people can ever do. And it's nice that you're able to do it in a sort of different way, a different platform. When was the last time you learned something, Chloe? Oh God, UCT's finest.
I don't know.
You don't
know.
Okay.
I don't have a good answer for that. When was the last time you learned something?
I learn something every day.
Sam's recently learned how to use the coffee machine at my house. He's now a barista.
I'm not a very good one. And it's also heightened my respect for, these Capetonian baristas that are actually quite pretentious, some of them.
Yeah.
But, frothing milk is harder than it looks.
Can you do one of the leaves?
No shapes yet.
No shapes yet.
All of it's abstract, just like KETS.
Sam will hand me a coffee and it's got like this, it looks almost like, how you make pictures out of clouds. This is a cat. He's like,
see, that's the beauty of art. It's up for interpretation.
Oh, it's a Picasso.
Yeah.
Chloe and I are morbidly addicted to TikTok. So we like communicate using trendy songs or
TikTok audios,
the jokes that are going. But while we have you on jokes, and hopefully you're writhing around at home, laughing, giggling, having a good time. Welcome, if you are new, to KETS. It's lovely to have you. Come right in. Water is pretty cold. And of course, you are a returning viewer, a fan of the show. It's good to have you. Like we said, we've got about 80% of these people just watch the podcast. They don't subscribe. So, you have subscribed. Thank you. So now they've done it. Now we can continue picking Dillon's brain about life. So you've named 2022 the year of relentless perseverance. Why not just give up?
What's the point then?
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
God, I don't have a response to that.
That's true.
If you're gonna try, why not go all the way?
I like that.
I don't know where I learned that, but it's kind of like something clicked, and I was like, okay, well, if you've got this mission, like half-assing the mission, it's not gonna really get you there. So like, that's where that came from. I was like, I was also reading a book. I don't know if you guys know about it, but it's called Ikigai.
Is that an English book, Dillon? What?
It is English. It is English, but it's actually based around Japanese centurions.
Oh,
so people that live past 100, almost sometimes 120.
Yo.
Yeah, and there was a quote in that book called, I think it was the Japanese word. I might be absolutely butchering this, but it's gambaru, I think, or gambaru, which basically
sounds Japanese.
Yeah. Which basically just means to give your all to one task without second thoughts or holding back with pure perseverance, just to give it all. And that's where that also came from.
Yeah. So what are you relentlessly pursuing this year, like specifically?
Multitudes of levels on content. I feel like I've always held myself back from like taking risks. So that's, I mean, this podcast is a huge inspiration for me in terms of setting up my own. Hopefully one day I can have a professional setup like this.
Get blinded by lights.
With the painting on the back and everything. And also just my physique. You can always take that to the next level, push yourself in training and diet, in whatever way that is relatable to you as an individual.
Yeah.
And just lifestyle, like learning more, doing more.
But what I like what you brought up is that we all get so fascinated about life, and it is exciting and it is wonderful. But not everyone's the next Alicia Keys. I was watching Alicia Keys videos for about 3 hours last night on YouTube. You either have that or you don't. I firmly believe. But that doesn't mean your life can't be absolutely fantastic and amazing and exciting. But it is starting to be okay with like relentlessly pursuing the mundane, showing up. For us, it could be recording the podcast. Like, I know you go, Chloe, you're so funny. Sam, you're just this devilishly good-looking fox. You guys must be so excited to do this every week. Sometimes you don't, but it's like the constant act of showing up. And I think that when I see other people doing that, like yourself, I get very inspired. And I think that's all we can aim to do, is just consistently show up, give your all, and be a good person. So the person who cut me off in traffic this morning, fuck you. I'm not a good person. I'm working on my life. But yeah, and I think that's a good... God, we always say we're a comedy podcast and we get real deep real quick.
I like it.
When was the last time you got deep, Chloe?
Stop asking me.
I know.
You're catching me so off guard.
Are you reading Japanese books, Chloe? Because I feel Dillon's come on and he's embarrassed us. I
don't even really read. I'm going to be quite honest.
God. No. That Ikigai book is the only book I've ever read. So like,
you read books?
Don't take it.
I love that. People are like, I need to gym more and read more books. Dillon with his one book. Yeah, this is...
I've referenced it like 8 times out of 10. I've got 2 more uses and then I've got to find a new book.
No, that's hilarious. So there's also in the scene that you're in, it comes with negative stereotypes. And I mean, there's anywhere you go, you get stereotyped. Do you like the term gym rat, or do you get triggered by it?
I wouldn't say I get triggered.
Yeah.
I'm just more confused.
Okay.
Like,
welcome.
I would say more like gym bro. I wouldn't say gym rat. Like rat has quite the connotation that I'm like in the depths.
Yeah.
And like dark.
Yeah, you don't live at the gym.
That's also quite a... I mean, I wouldn't say I don't, but I would...
Chloe, stop asking the hard-hitting questions. We said there'd be no gotcha journalism today.
I don't know, like rat sounds like such like a dirty term.
You're a dirty pig. Yes. Are you a gym pig?
No.
But you know what we're saying? Do you ever be like, this is bloody annoying that people are like, I'm a gym, this is just...
Oh, the stereotypes.
Yes, like, oh.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you could make a stereotype about anybody, I guess.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, like, it's my life. So, like, if I were to take that personal, then, like, I mean, who am I? You know what I mean? Like, you saying I'm a gym rat, it means I go to gym every day. Cool.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And it's like half my life, and I love every second of it.
You ever heard of discipline, bro? Yeah. Get off your ass. What are you doing watching a podcast?
What?
That's why only 80% of people are subscribed.
You just get abused.
Oh my God, I gotta go to the gym. What's your worst gym stereotype? Or do you have one? Like you just hate it when someone says that.
Oh, for me.
Like an assumption someone might have about you.
No, I would just say that like when people say like, oh, does that mean you like not have a life?
Okay.
Because like it doesn't mean I
just devalue what you do.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's not that I don't have a life like outside of the gym. It's just like a very huge part of my life.
That's like people literally being like, oh, we see what you've chosen to do. That sucks. Great. Like, calm down, Charles. You work at Deloitte.
I think the not like the worst thing, but like just something I don't understand is when criticism like that like would come from someone who like doesn't somewhat look like they work out. You know what I mean? So it's like if
Whoa, holster your weapons. This is a no firing zone. Whoa.
no, but it's just like, you know, when you receive negative comments, I mean, like, I'm very good at like taking it on the chin and like moving on, but then it's like, hey,
physical comedy. If you're listening, I just punched Dillon. He's currently on the floor.
Yeah, but there's sometimes I don't understand criticism, and I think that's the only time it like somewhat affects me is when I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, and it doesn't like affect me to the core, but I would say like, yeah, it's just like when I don't understand where the negative comment is like coming from.
Yeah.
It's like that's like so out of the blue. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
We spoke a lot about haters with PH Fat, and there's a great quote or whatever it is, maybe from Tumblr. That's how you show your age. You reference Tumblr, and people are like, what is Tumblr? You know, you'll never get criticized by people doing more than you. It's always people who, and whatever it is. And I often go, you know, the person's things aren't going great in your life if you've taken time to shit on someone else's life. Unless you're a bird, then I mean, it's part of flying. You got to be shitting on people. And whilst we're on it, if you're ready for a pearl of wisdom, sometimes you're the statue and sometimes you're the pigeon.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I wish I came up with that. I didn't.
You don't have to tell people that. You know?
I mean, I feel it's a pretty well
Sam's
done.
pearls of wisdom. So what do you do when you're not at the gym? You know, do you like to party? You're more like a sort of stay at home kind of guy.
I think it goes back and forth. I think when I'm taking my training very seriously, so I have quite a fixed goal at hand. I tend to stay away from the temptation of that environment, just because, I mean, besides like alcohol and it being like 0 calorie, like it being like a lot of calories with no macronutrients and stuff like that. But that entire environment is just like, and you lose sleep as well in your training, it affects your training, all of that. But at the same time, like when I'm in a space where training is not like, I wouldn't say extremely important, but it's not like the main focus and I'm just purely enjoying it, then like I think it's very important to have a social life. Like very important. You can't rely solely on one element of your life to give you endorphins.
Yeah.
Like you can't solely rely on gym, because then what happens if you take it away? You got to have the people as well. And like if you interact with people around you and you make friends and you build those relationships, then the support comes back. You know, you have to give time to your friends, give time to not taking life so seriously, so that, you know, that comes back to you.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go to Miami and lose your mind.
bit of a push, but like
what would Pitbull do? You know, and that is a question we all grapple with on a daily basis. I want to ask you, because some people go, oh, daily dose of Dillon, he's got a problem with dry scooping. And for those of you who don't know what dry scooping is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. You just mainlining pre-workout, but instead of mixing it with water as advised, you just to the back of the throat. When did that start? Because to be honest, I saw one of those videos and I was like, this guy's funny. I was like, this is funny.
And like that's the exact reason why I did it.
Yeah,
it's because of that reaction. So like, it's definitely not like the best way to like take pre-workouts.
I mean, I think a lot of people could argue that.
9 out of 10 dentists agree.
Probably your heart agrees as well. It's like having 3 shots of coffee.
But yeah, like I just use it like as a forum, and like I just took it to the nth extent, because I was like, this is super entertaining.
Yeah,
and like I enjoyed it and it was fun. It gave hype, gave the people something to watch, and then I found out, actually, very important information if you're watching, that if you take pre-workout without the water and you just like straight, it could actually like destroy the lining of your stomach. So like,
oh shit,
don't do that.
Oh, yeah,
depends how badly you need the laughs.
I was thinking like, this is awfully familiar, and I was like, why is it? I was like, you remember the cinnamon challenge that was going around?
Oh yeah.
Like
so that's like quite funny to build on that, because like I realized halfway through the dry scooping era that I was like, this kind of seems a lot like the cinnamon challenge. Tried the cinnamon challenge, nothing. Like it was absolutely nothing. So like if you're training for the cinnamon challenge, dry scoop. I don't know.
No, if you're training for the cinnamon challenge, reevaluate your life. I don't know who's in hard prep. Oh, I'm training for Ironman. Me, I'm training for the cinnamon challenge. No, that's so okay. So that's your PSA for the day. Like maybe stop dry scooping,
or just mix it with some water in your mouth. Yeah. Also, you've mixed it with an egg as well before,
but not an egg, like a whole egg and then into the mouth.
Yeah, like shell and all.
Yeah. Like some form of liquid is probably a good idea. Maybe not an egg.
No. Obviously, the best way to take it is to dissolve it in about like 500 mils of water and then take it, right?
Boring,
and that, like, yeah, exactly. My point. Like, where's the fun in that?
I was going to potentially do a dry scoop, but few problems. One, I enjoy my stomach lining, and two, I don't have pre-workouts.
All it takes is one message.
That's true.
Who's
your pre-workout dealer?
Oh, well, at the moment, I have like a new company.
You don't get your stuff off the street?
No. Okay. No. This is the best of the best.
I like them tainted supplements.
You like with like DMMA and stuff like that.
It's like, were there steroids in this?
Have you heard? Have you heard of that one pre-workout? It's called Jack
3D.
3D.
Yeah, I do it before the podcast usually.
Every time. Yeah, that's probably why your mind system.
Can you see my gills? I'm pumped. Yeah, that's crazy.
Someone tried to sell me that once. So like during that time when like I was dry scooping so much, someone was like, "Oh yeah, try this." Like they sent me a picture on DM, and then I put on my story. I was like, "Should I try this?" The response I got was crazy because everywhere was like, "If you take that, you like literally might die." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And like it's just pre-workouts, and they're apparently in this. They banned the pre-workouts now. But it has like some heavy like other chemicals in there.
Oh, the guy was probably like, "Yeah, no, you don't put it in your mouth. You actually sniff it."
Yeah. And it was also like crystallized and like it looked like it had been sitting in the box for like a good couple million.
I think he was trying to say cocaine.
That's not good.
No. No.
Maybe. But I love the steroid chat around high performance athletes because who are competing in sports where steroids are banned, or PEDs, that's the dressed up term for them. And whatever you can be like, yeah, that guy's definitely on steroids, and then they'll come out with their whole statement of, I had a tainted supplement, and it's like, no, you didn't. It's like, not has everyone been on tainted supplements by mistake? Or just one time my friend injected me in the bathroom by mistake. I thought it was heroin, but it was a performance enhancing drug, which heroin is, of course, not.
Yeah. Okay, well...
You ever been on steroids?
I feel like I need to process the first half of that monologue before I answer the question. No, I have never taken PEDs.
Oh, nice. As you may have noticed, I deal with a lifelong affliction of ADD. Undiagnosed, but I think you guys can make the diagnosis at home. Chloe had some more serious questions because that's what she does. We've mentioned it many times on this podcast. She draws parity. She gets you thinking at home. She gets me thinking on the pod. So anything a bit deeper, Chloe Dog?
So you're very open on your social media about your struggles with your body image and body dysmorphia and sort of stuff like that. And I really admire that. So what has been your greatest motivation to sort of share that and develop a healthier relationship with your body?
I love that question.
Good question.
Realizing that it's normal. So a lot of the time when you have an insecurity or when you struggle with something emotionally, one of the hardest ways coping with it is because you feel alone.
Yeah.
And when I realized that I wasn't the only one, and I started sharing like my feelings to other people, and they were like, yeah, I had that as well. And then getting that response and feeling like you're almost part of like a community in some sense, where like you're not the only one that feels in this particular way. That's really comforting and really motivating. So then I realized, okay, cool. If I can share that to people on a personal basis, then imagine how many people on social media, that reach of making all of those people then feel like they're not alone.
Yeah, and I would also say that it's really cool to hear a guy talking about it.
Yes.
Because I follow a lot of females and I've struggled with it myself. I follow a lot of women, and it's really nice to hear from them. But it's really refreshing to know that guys struggle too. you know, they're regular people.
Yeah, I mean, like, we have emotions as well. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's not a surprise.
as well. And yeah, I mean, like my main point when it comes to that is like I was bullied as a kid, and like all boys schools can be tough.
No, they're rough places.
Yeah.
Like it's like a feeding ground of like lions, like trying to be the most alpha male. And like when you're small, the only way that they really know how to do that is by putting others down instead of just lifting themselves up.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I was just like a victim to that. Like, and I just had to grow up learning how to I like to say I had to relearn the alphabet of my self-confidence. Because like everything that I knew about how to speak to myself internally was based on how others spoke to me. You know how like if you tell an apple it's a pineapple so many times, eventually it will think it's a pineapple.
Yeah.
When its first name is just Pine. No, that's shocking. I feel you were building to something majestic. I apologize.
I was like mid Lion King
Like,
lifting up in the
And
moment.
then someone just like paused the movie. They were like, anyone want snacks?
Yeah, I get it. Okay, cancel Sam. He ruins everything. It's fine. I apologize. Back to your wondrous train of thought.
Okay, so if you have a pineapple and you call him a pineapple so many times, eventually he will believe it. And that's the same concept with when you're young and you're a sponge basically of information. The only way you know how to think is based on what other people are telling you. And if someone keeps telling you something so many times and you're in that like heightened place of information absorption, like you begin to think like that and believe it.
Of course.
And I was put down for my weight so many times that I started to believe it. Like started to believe the name, started to believe that opinion of me. And then I got older and I realized like this is not actually the case. And then I had to basically be like, wow, okay, now I've got to go back to the drawing board and relearn a whole new way of like internally speaking to myself.
Yeah.
So that was tough. But once I discovered that, I was like, you know, I started sharing that with friends, like people closest to me. And then they were like, dude, you must talk about this. Like, it's important.
And now 4 years later, here we are.
Yeah. And the amount of people who have messaged me and been like you've actually changed like my life from the way I speak to myself. It may not be like hundreds of people, but it's been enough for me to be like I've made a huge difference. And
I'm sure if it was one, you would have been.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Relieved, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like it started off as one or two, but then like it started growing and more people came back to me and I was like, I'm actually like affecting people's lives positively. And then that's what made me keep going from 2017. So
This might be a departure from this lovely story, but I'm quite naughty. I'm a naughty fella, a naughty chap.
What?
And I'm always interested by these things. So what was one of the most creative nicknames you had? What did the bullies cook up where you like one day were like, you know what, I'm not even mad. That's quite funny. Or was it none of that?
So I have this distinct memory.
Oh God, we've unlocked it.
I have this distinct memory, besides the many. But so I was playing like football. We were at football practice. I think this was like literally grade 7. So like some of these people are like 13 years old, full grown boys with their own opinions. I was obviously playing and we were at soccer practice. And then I like missed a shot or something. And then one of the kids was like, oh, come on, FBB. And I was like, what does that mean? And I found out that FBB stands for Fat Blubber Boy.
Oh, jeez.
No way.
And for some reason that distinctly is like in my brain. Like I will never forget that exact moment.
Well, say it again.
FBB.
FBB. And then you flipped it to DDOD. Oh, yeah. It's about taking a negative to a positive, people. Wake up. No, I was going to go on a Joey Diaz rant. No, not today. Not today.
Kids are like brutal.
Yeah.
I was looking for something to laugh at. That was a bit heavy.
If you laughed at that, I would have been like,
yeah. Wow.
That's heavy. But yeah, like that's some of the experiences. And like I've had conversations with people who have had even worse like scenarios or stories. And I'm like, kids are just so harsh sometimes. Like, it's just unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, it's such an achievement to be where you are today.
Thank you.
It really is, yeah.
Who is CBUM? And why does everyone talk about it?
So funny enough, you ask.
This better be funny.
Yeah, you're asking. Literally, while we are recording this right now, it is his birthday.
What?
It just so
So
happened.
who is he?
Okay. So bodybuilding.
Okay.
When people do it for a living and they go to shows, one of the biggest shows in the world is called the Arnold and like the Olympia.
Okay.
And he has won 3 times at Mr. Olympia.
3 times.
That's a very big achievement. I don't know if it's 100% factual, but I do know that I think no one has won 3 times in a row consistently.
Okay.
Wow.
Consecutively.
Back to back to back.
And his physique is just unreal. And so besides him being a professional bodybuilder, like his body and like the overall physique is just so inspiring. And that's why obviously in the bodybuilding community and like on Instagram and social media and YouTube and all of that, it's just very inspiring to see someone like that have such a rig.
Yes. It's also, I feel, it's pretty privileged because he's an attractive human being.
I mean,
Everyone's sweating a bit here. I've just been browsing a few things.
Sam is speaking facts.
Yeah. And so is that person, because also, for those of you sitting and at home and not familiar with the bodybuilding terms, the community, you go natty for natural, not on steroids. Is he natty?
Absolutely not.
Okay, not natty.
So
you heard it here first.
To give like reference, if you are at all entering the Mr. Olympia, it's like impossible to keep up with other people without.
Yeah.
But are PEDs allowed?
I'm almost certain that they don't test.
Okay.
So they kind of are, in a way.
They all are.
Is he transparent about that or no?
Because I think steroids are illegal in real life.
Not all of them, but I think you...
Look, I'm going to be completely honest, okay? If I was somebody who dabbled...
Which you're not.
If I was.
I'll tell you what, I'd look a lot bigger and a lot better if I was on PEDs. That I would educate myself more on whether they are legal or not, and I'm not even sure if they are or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
In certain countries, like I feel like if I pass that threshold, then I would have to learn about whether it is legal or not legal in certain countries. But I'm not even aware.
Well, I don't know if you saw this, but so Chris has got a sister, Melissa, who's also a bodybuilder. She got arrested at the end of last year.
On his behalf.
No, I didn't know that.
So-
She opened the package and...
No. It was Chris's steroids.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so this is the theory, but it almost makes perfect sense. Like, like you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, so she took the fall because it was right before the Olympia, and it was right before Chris's 3rd win. So it was like, I mean, Chris is going on 3 wins. She's not at the same level as like Chris Bum said. So it was kind of like, let me take the fall for you, family things.
God, my sister won't even let me eat her ice cream, let alone. Why did that sound weird? Anyway. But I think it's wonderful because, and that's why I love TikTok and Instagram and all these social media platforms. Yes, they ruin everything, but they also, I started getting into this CBUM guy, and then I am watching like Mr. Olympia and all these things, and before I had no interest in them whatsoever, and then I'm like, look at his hamstring. That hamstring is popping.
It's also like an insane form of discipline.
No, it is. And do you ever get people that lose the plot about other people being on steroids? And I mean, you voiced that you aren't, and for whatever reason, and that's completely cool. But it's like, it's their life. Calm down, everyone. Why would that trigger you so much? Is he on steroids? And yes, I have been using them from time to time. This physique is unattainable otherwise, as many of you know. Would you agree with that statement?
I'm a bit lost as to like what like there was like a question in there somewhere, and like
the question is like, why are people so triggered that other people use steroids? I suppose
I think it's just like a normal thing of like, it's the same reaction if you've been waiting in the Starbucks line for like half an hour and someone cuts in front of you. It's like them having an extra edge or them cheating in some way and attaining something that you want, but with the extra help, which is quote unquote cheating, because you're obviously giving your body stuff that it doesn't develop
naturally.
No,
I get
so
that.
it's like, so then it's like people are like,
no, we get it. But speaking of things that don't develop naturally, or rather do develop naturally, have you seen these sort of things where people are buying breast milk because it gives you that extra edge?
Instead of steroids.
Yeah. Who was selling it?
Yeah, there's this woman. Well, I just saw a story of this. There's this woman in Cyprus, and she makes like thousands of dollars selling her breast milk because bodybuilders have found that breast milk can be performance enhancing. So they take that instead of steroids.
No comment from the Daily Dose. Let the record
How
reflect.
crazy!
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Ever.
We got some in the fridge if you want to try.
No, I'd like to keep the natty card, thanks.
Okay. Well, so mirror pics are a big part of being I'm not going to call you a fitness influencer because that makes you feel cheap. I'm going to call you Dillon. How many mirror pics do you think you've taken in your career?
It's an intense question.
I know.
Are we counting like...
Not dick pics, no.
No,
Just the mirror pics.
I'm saying like in one sit, it's like one sitting, one picture. Because obviously you don't take like one.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
take
we're
like,
talking about the curated one.
I'll stand there and
Yeah.
I'll take like I would say like 20 or like 15 and then choose one and post that.
We're talking about
as
the one.
does.
The
Yeah,
one.
The one.
Ooh, I would say like at least over 300, I'd probably say.
Wow, we love
Because
to
it's
see
like,
them one day.
I would say over the course of 2.5 years, if you go like once every 2 days, yeah.
I like it.
I would say so. Maybe 300 is a push. Maybe like 240.
Okay, I like that. I like seeing it. And invest in yourself. Invest in your progress. But we've got a new part of the show, and it's called "What Pisses You Off," and it's a new segment. Chloe, put the music on, please. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to "What Pisses You Off." Interesting music there, Chloe. But anyway, because I always find it interesting, like what grinds people's gears. So I'll give you a bit of time to think about. Chloe, what pisses you off?
Your downstairs neighbors.
Jesus.
me
What if
off.
they're fans of the show, Chloe?
That's true. Do they know who we are?
Yeah. Neighbors in general. You never
I
hear
know.
people going like, I love my neighbor.
Actually,
Unless you're
I
in the
remember-
Bible.
you have funny neighbors, though, don't you? Your neighbors were being really loud. I remember there was a story that you posted.
Do you guys know each other? Have you dated? What?
No. I got you. During lockdown, it was when I was still staying at home. That's why I was confused, because I've moved out now. So that you were like, how do you know about my neighbors? You know, I was
also
like,
concerned.
I was like, what?
Let's see the WhatsApp chat between you two.
What? No. So for some reason, you know how like people, the first lockdown in 2020, some people bought like really interesting things. Like Take a Lot, like skyrocketed. People were at home the whole time, like doing weird activities. Weird shit.
Yeah.
I swear, my neighbor at home had never had this before, but a leaf blower.
Oh, God.
And almost every single day was like, I have nothing better to do. Let me just like blow the leaves. And it wasn't even the part of their property where it was actually their front garden. It was like past the gate open, and then there's like a canal between our house. So it was like our house and then a canal. And he would just come like all the way onto our side and start blowing. And I'd be like,
God.
what? Like, why? Like, I'm just trying to, read.
Yeah.
Our one next door neighbor at my house, is a little boy, and it's very sweet, and he's learning to play the trumpet. What is it?
Multiple instruments.
Multiple instruments, but he's learning to play the trumpet, and I mean, he's really trying. Like we're saying, he's relentlessly pursuing and persevering and learning the trumpet. But sometimes it's a bit hard to listen to. I won't lie.
Yeah, well, he's giving it a bash.
Yeah.
So, Dillon, what pisses you off?
Like in the gym or just in general?
In general.
Life, you know?
Sure, in general.
Can be in the gym. Can be your mom,
I mean, I would say, like, if we relate it to the gym, I would say, like, 2 things. One, if, like, okay.
Here we go. Buckle
Just
up,
came.
everyone.
And I know this is a controversial topic because I know a lot of people will disagree with me. But if you see someone in the gym, like, like putting their emotions aside, whipping out the tripod, recording themselves, and you decide to purposefully walk past the camera.
Yeah.
I go nuts for that because it's like
to catch these hands.
No, it's just like even before I had Daily Dose and I saw other people doing that, I would stop and I'd be considerate to other people and I'd be like, you can clearly see that he's doing something that he wants to do. I understand that like some people will say, oh, the gym is a place to work. It's not really a place to like build or whatever. But in the 21st century, you literally can't say that when like most businesses are based on content. Like,
yes. What was it like? What was your first? Because I can't think of anything more daunting than walking into you like a little Virgin Active. You go through the turnstile and your tripod. Sorry, coming there, and then you walk up and you start your exercise and then you've got your tripod there. The first handful of times must have been super scary.
Definitely. But the first time I whipped out a tripod was not in Virgin Active because you're not allowed to film in Virgin Active.
Really?
Oh.
Not.
Oh my God.
So that's one of the reasons why I changed.
Okay, so you don't train at Virgin Active.
I don't.
Where are all the Lumo lights that people are training these days? I see I'm like, that looks cool, but it looks too fun for gym.
Ignite Fitness is where I train now for like the sole purpose that recording your sessions and recording content in the gym is encouraged.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like the best like place because, like I was saying, some people aren't always considerate about walking in front of the camera and stuff, but some people have actually seen me and they're like, would you like me to like help you record? I'm like,
oh, that's lovely.
That's so nice.
Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, and you feel like you're part of a community where people are like the gym is that next level. You know what I mean? Where it's not just like Virgin Active as a commercial gym. It's like,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got another wonderful new segment. Some say new segments are a new segment at KETS because, hey, we keep them coming. But it's true or false. So we're going to present something to you, and you're going to go true or false with a short justification. So, and here the game begins. Some say you were Rondebosch Boys High School's finest hockey player. True or false?
False.
I can confirm. As someone in the hockey community, I have not heard of Dillon.
Fair enough.
No, only teasing. Chloe also peaked in her sort of grade 8 Rustenburg year as a hockey player.
It was grade 7. In grade 8, I was in the B team and then they demoted me to the C team. The biggest L ever.
Okay, Chloe, you're up with the next one.
Okay.
This is kind of personal, so answer carefully.
True or false? Sam has benched 100 kilograms in 2018.
True.
Ah, yes. No, false.
See, 2018 is a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like, that's 4 years. Like, I don't know what you looked like 4 years ago.
That's why I wrote 2018, because if you went now, you'd be like, no. This thing.
Like I could see you being a muscular person 4 years ago.
I did go through a gym phase.
Yeah, I think
all post breakup, all men do. But the most I ever a bench press was 95. I never.
Oh, but that's so
no.
close.
That doesn't count.
No, but I mean, it's close.
Chloe, the 100, what's it called? It's like the 3-plate club or what? 2 plates?
2 plates.
Yeah, I'm ready to get to
I'm
that
not
3
too
plate
sure
club.
because some, like in America, they call it something else, but they do it in pounds. They're like the 315 club. I think it's like that.
God. All right, so the next true or false is...
225, sorry, 225. You all would have been ripped apart if I got that wrong. 225 is 100 kilograms.
Are you having a stroke over there? You just...
Yeah, I just got to make sure I have a reputation to uphold here.
Just firing out numbers.
I was just doing quick maths, you know what I mean?
317.
I was AP maths in school, so I was like with the weights.
Okay, well, true or false? Chloe has a Brazilian booty... the Brazilian butt lift? True or false?
Can I plead the fifth?
Plead the fifth. I can confirm Chloe does have that BBL.
No.
What's it called? The Brazilian?
No. Brazilian butt lift. Those are like life-threatening
they're
to actually
dangerous.
get.
So if you're on the fence about getting one...
Didn't someone die from that?
Probably.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Too much, too real. Commercial break. No. All right.
No,
No, it is a very dangerous
They
procedure.
are very dangerous.
Quick
yes.
side note, how did Kanye West's mom pass away?
Donda?
Yes.
No, I don't know.
Don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure it was from a very standard procedure, something along those lines. And then she just flatlined.
Oh, no.
I'm almost certain.
I don't know.
Because when I heard what the operation, someone told me about what her actual operation was about. And it was something to do with, it was like beauty cosmetics like that.
Oh, jeez.
And I was
That's
like,
terrible.
yeah. And I was like, what is that? Did she like
Yeah.
pass away from something like
They
that?
can be super dangerous.
Sorry, like weird.
Yeah, live by the sword, die by the sword. Kanye, Kim Kardashian. Yeah. Now, come on, cancel Daily Dose of Dillon for bringing up Donda's death. Good heavens. Whew, that got.
Okay.
I'm sweating through my back, lower back. You know when your lower back sweaty, you're in trouble. Greased up in the back. Yeah. Oh wow.
Okay. True or false? Gary V is a con man.
That's a tough one.
Oh. We're asking the tough questions.
False.
False.
Because he's actually made millions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
He
why
doesn't-
I'd
yeah.
go. He's true and false. I feel
Yeah.
some of his stuff's conny,
some
but he's
ways-
also.
No, I would say his information, I would say is about 70. Okay. His knowledge is like 100% true. But I would say the amount of some of his responses or some of the things that he posts on social media, it's like, I would say it's like 60% factual. Like some of the stuff he just like whips up out of nowhere and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
He'll be looking like, he'll find a word on the wall that says idea. Without the I, it's DEA. You want to be a drug addict or do you want to get things done?
I've seen those videos.
Stop having catchphrase movements. Calm down, Gary V.
No, I've seen that stuff. Some of his stuff is very touch and go. I'm like, that makes no sense.
But that's why I also defend him, because sometimes, what'll get me going in the morning is a Gary V video. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'll be like, I needed to see this balding man just go
Is he
absolutely.
balding?
Oh yeah, for some time.
Oh, for some time.
Needs to inspire that hairline.
Yeah. I think he needs to have a chat with Jacques
And then-
Cullis.
Oh jeez. Oh god. Chloe, that is a
Okay.
national hero. And our last true or false. You've been quite on the money here, I'd say.
Okay. True or false? Sam is 6 foot.
False. 5'11".
Okay. There are distinctions between 5'11", 5'11", and 3/4 and 6
Is
foot.
it one of those like your actual height's 5'11", but on
think-
Tinder you're 6 foot?
On Tinder, I'm 6'4".
Are you on Tinder?
Well, that remains to be seen. No, why is that such a big thing for men? And it's hilarious because they're like, "How tall are you?" And it's like, it's just a weird thing. I've always been, and they'll defend it, and you're like, "We can get the measuring tape out," and they're like, "Oh no, that's too insulting." I'm like, "My guy, you're a chode." That's not true. And if you are short and stout,
There's nothing wrong with that.
of course, we're just kidding around. You are big on TikTok.
I am.
You are, yeah. You got like close to 60,000 followers.
That's pretty big.
True or false? True. What's the craziest comment you've ever gotten on TikTok?
Oh gosh. I don't know. Yo, I've gotten so many like weird hate comments. I would say not the weirdest comment, but along the lines, someone purely like literally screen recorded and reposted one of my videos and got more views than me.
That's
So it was
a kick in the dick.
I wouldn't say I get like heavy hate comments on TikTok, but even if they do, it's like some random, like the username is like user 60934, and I'm like, okay, that's not a real person, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I would say that's probably quite a story, because it was like in the very beginning of my TikTok career, I just posted like song suggestions.
Yeah.
And this dude, no joke. So he did his own intro. He like walked in and he was like, you know, one of those where it's like pointing and he's like,
If you don't watch TikTok, you'll have no idea what it is.
but like insert text with like blue right and
It's
whatever.
almost like the praise Jesus. Sort
Yeah,
of.
he's like there, and then like screen, and then it was like, oh, top songs for gym or whatever. And I watched the video. I can't remember how it literally popped up on my For You page, and I looked at it and I was like, these songs look similar. Looked at it again, and it literally says, so my at the time I was using my dad's AirPods. It literally at the bottom on Spotify says Collins AirPods. Like, and I'm like, that is my video. And then I obviously like made another video like responding to it, being like, bro, if you're gonna steal my content, like at least take away like the name of my my earphones. And then he apologized and was like, sorry bro, I took it down. And he was an English dude. He sent me a voice note on Instagram. It was quite funny to hear like an English dude being like, oh sorry man, like and I was like,
God,
like
he wasn't sorry.
be original,
sorry he
you know
got
what I mean?
caught.
Like I would say that's like the weirdest or like the worst thing. I was like, why are you stealing my content?
Yeah.
Just come on. I've got one more question before we head into the fan favorites, overrated, underrated. And that is, there's a young guy or girl at home. They're looking to take charge. They're looking to start. They're looking to get in the gym. What's just a short little tidbit for them?
Find your why. So once you have purpose, you have direction, then figure out what excites you, what form of exercise, because there needs to be longevity to it. Can't just be like a week. And then figure out your maintenance calories. Find foods that you do enjoy, don't enjoy, and figure out your diet, and then combine all of that and maintain consistency.
Wow.
Well, there you go. And if half of that didn't make sense, get your phone out. Oh, you're on your phone. So you're watching two things at once. I get it. And go and follow the Daily Dose of Dillon, because there is a built-in guide, motivation, tips, tricks, and some laughs to help you get on your way. Wonderful. So Chloe, you are now going to take us through overrated, underrated. Dillon, are you familiar with the concept?
Sounds pretty interesting. Is it from the Gary Vee here? Like,
no, Gary Vee stole this from us, the motherfucker.
No, I'm just checking because earlier you were asking questions about Gary Vee, and now you're like,
come back on the show if you continue.
Sorry. Yeah. So, but I'm saying if it's very familiar with the concept.
Overrated, underrated.
Based on my opinion, eh?
Yeah.
Surely.
Okay. Take us away, Chloe Dog.
Okay. CBUM, overrated or underrated?
Underrated. Like, he is so good that there is so much of the world that doesn't know about how good he actually is.
Is that actually how you say it? CBUM, or is it?
So CBUM is short for Chris Bumstead.
Okay.
Jesus, Chloe, read a book. do your
I told you I haven't. Okay. Overrated or underrated Winstrel?
Unaware. I don't know enough.
It depends how long you're going to use it for. No, I've got no.
I would say overrated.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't need it.
No.
Yeah.
Is motivation overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
This is one of the things I've actually liked from you, and I literally picked it up. I was like, I really do like that, because motivation is great to get to one session, but it's not the way to live your life.
100%. The way I explain it is that motivation is like a wave. So like a wave like this, and like if you rely solely on motivation, you will never be consistent, because when a wave dips, so that's why I always say motivation is futile. Like it comes and goes. It doesn't really exist. The only thing that you can really rely on is discipline.
Yeah. If you can't surf or swim, you're double fucked. Yeah. Okay. We've somehow minimized those amounts of jokes today, so let's power through it. Dillon, our last couple. Is breast milk overrated or underrated?
Unknown. Overrated.
I mean, I think you have tried it before.
Technically.
We're talking about your mama.
It got me where I've peaked now, not earlier on. I would say it's overrated.
I'm gonna have to call him out on that. I think that's his first bad call. There's nothing better than some good old breast milk.
Samuel.
As a child, of course. Come on, not now. That's just.
Apparently, it's actually is very sweet. Breast milk.
Well, Chloe.
Anyways, I'm intrigued to try it.
And our last overrated, underrated, techno.
Oh, so underrated.
You one of those people who actually enjoy techno.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like, your Monolink, Township Rebellion, Art Bat, absolutely filthy. Some of the best cardio music, best time to jaw. Like when I go out, I will specifically go to places that play good music, because I just can't be jawling to 80s music. It's just not.
That's very interesting, because I feel like most people who go out pretend to like techno.
No.
As Eminem says, nobody listens to techno. He's also said a lot of other things.
A lot of controversial things. But yeah, techno underrated, I don't think.
Okay, well, I'm so glad we're wrapping this up, because kind of changed my whole opinion about you. That last techno thing. No, but that is absolutely wonderful. And Dillon, I just want to extend a warm thank you.
Yeah.
On this rather misty morning just for coming in, being yourself. And I think that is your strongest, one of your many strong points, but certainly the thing that I enjoy the most is the vulnerability and your ability to be relatable. So I'm sure that comes across in today's podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, it literally takes nothing for you to like and subscribe. I think that's it from me, Clodog.
Yeah.
Any parting shots?
No parting shots, but parting thanks.
Oh, nice.
I also want to say thank you to Dillon and Sam for joining me on this fine Thursday morning.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, subscribe. It's free. We'll have all of Dillon's social media links in the description box.
Where you can find them.
And if you guys are listening when this comes out, have a lovely Thursday evening.
Why do we change our cadence so much? I feel like
I was getting quite intense.
I'm ready to like lull off. Go to sleep. And we've got new content coming out, a new sort of show with Dillon, and you'll keep your eyes out for that because that is going to be funny. Or not.
Okay.
Dillon, do you know this? Have you seen this? Have you seen us do this? Index finger, thumb. You
They're
make
like
a
little
heart
hearts
and
that
just
you
say, what's that important muscle in your arm? Not your tricep, your
Bicep.
Bicep.